Hi there, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Karen Whiting, author of many books, including Christmas is Coming, but Waiting is Hard. And so I want to talk a little bit about Christmas and some things that we can do for that. And I'm so glad whether you're joining me live or whether you come on later and watch this, just remember to put up comments. I'm always happy to answer those comments and chat with you about things. One of the first things I want to do, and this is all pretty much paper, but you can do it with fabric if you don't want to use paper, of just folding paper and making things. I've cut and folded paper since I was a little girl. And so I'm going to make these little simple Christmas trees that are just accordion folded paper that you can put together to make an entire Christmas scene. Kind of looks fun. So all I do for this is I'm just going to take my paper and I'm going to cut it. Actually, I have some scissors. You can use pinking shears or other things that just have kind of a fun edge to them so it's not just straight. I'm going to cut it across here. So I have that scallop edge on the sides and the back. I start folding from the top because I like a little bit of the top to not have the backing of either a toothpick or a chenille stem behind it. And then I accordion fold it up and down till I'm done with the whole piece. When I do that, I'm then going to make a hole that goes all the way through it except through that top little part. And I use a little tiny punch, a hole punch, but you could use a needle or something else that you can put through it. I just have a hole punch that does tiny punches, so they're kind of little. And now whether I put this on a skewer, which I can do, and that's the easiest while it's still there. I can do that on a skewer and cut that skewer to the length that I want it to be. Or I can put a chenille stem through it. That's always easiest when it's all folded up and the holes are aligned because you punch them all at one time. And I can pull this on down to however I want it to be spread out, but it gives a little dimension instead of just a cut paper tree. And put that down, but you see you have that little scallop edge at the bottom because that's the way I had cut the paper. And I can do this where this, if you have a paper that's the same color on both sides, you of course will get that showing that way. But on something like this that I might want to put on a package, on the back I just had written Daniel down and Daniel across so that we know who that's going to. And when I put it on my package, I can just take the end of the little trunk, or I can make it longer and I can just tape that on and have it stand up on the package if I want to. Or I can have it lay flat if I'm going to be sending it to someone and I need that space in the box. And for this, I just took a styrofoam circle from the dollar store and I got some little balls and I took a half of a toothpick, put that in there and stuck that on here. And I can do that with another one if I want, just to give a little more dimension to the whole thing. And then I just start putting in my trees wherever I want them to be. And I just punch them in, and if you have a chenille stem that doesn't seem to be going in, you can poke a hole with a toothpick or skewer and make it go in a little bit easier and decorate it up however you want it to be. With these paper folded things, you can do any kind of a shape, so a snowman or whatever, bell or whatever Christmas shape you want to do. And it's just a very simple way to make a decoration or a package, a garnish type thing. Now for my butterflies, I use paper. In this case I took some fabric I like that Christmas plaid, and so it was a scrap of fabric I had, and I just put it together with a second piece of fabric that I used an adhesive, fabric adhesive, to put that together. Now what I really do, as you can see here, I actually have folded paper or fabric that I cut into an oval, and then I open it and fold it the other way, and on one side I cut in further to give the bottom of that butterfly shape. And then I'm just going to accordion fold this, and in this case either side is going to be fine because they're the same, so I don't really have a wrong or a right side to it. But I'm going to accordion fold it, and I'm going to take a little chenille stem, a little piece of one, make this tight on here, tighten that up with a couple twists, and then you see the wider side is going to be the top, the other side's the bottom. So then I'm going to twist my antenna down and form that little antenna for the butterfly. And then to give it a fluffier type of a body, I take another piece of a chenille stem and I can wrap it around a pencil or whatever I have that will give it that shape. I can wrap it around and that just gives me a fluffy little coil. And I'm going to put that all the way in between the antenna and the top, around the body of this, and on the back I'm just going to twist that up a little bit. If there's any excess, I can either lay it down flat or I can cut it off. And then I have my fluffy little butterfly shape, and I'm done. So I can do that with paper, and if you, again, let me just take a piece of paper here. So I'm going to fold this in half. While it's folded in half, as I mentioned, I'm simply going to cut my oval shape. And if you want, you can fold it in quarters to get a better shape, to make sure it's matching and symmetrical. Then I open it up, I fold it the other direction, and on one end of it, I just cut into there to get my little butterfly shape on that. And then I accordion fold it down. And I have my little butterfly shape. And then I can just take a chenille stem, just as I did with the other one, and finish that up the same way. Now, if you want to just make a simple bow, you can also just take a plain oval, maybe a little bit fatter, and accordion fold that up. Take whatever color you want of a chenille stem. I always like these glitter ones. It just adds a little sparkle to Christmas time. And I just have a bow here, and I can have that just come on down, or I can curl the edges up however I want it to be. And I have a simple bow to put on a package, but that way I can have a bow that matches the paper, or maybe contrasting from buying two types of paper that might be similar and might go together well to make those bows. And I can make them as tiny as I want to, or I can make them bigger, depending on the size of the package or where I want to put them and what I want to do with them. Something like this is one in which, instead of having the longer flat piece, I've made a longer second piece. So I've actually trimmed the top part off of my oval and thinned out the bottom part, and it makes more of a bow. And this is particularly nice to do with fabric. And I wrapped a piece of fabric instead of the chenille stem around it, because then you have a bow you can actually put in your hair to wear. So to do that one, as I said, let me get a piece that's the right size. I would just take my oval, fold this in half, make my oval, and then when I fold this in half again, I would be taking this bottom part, probably cutting it a little bit more, and cutting it so it's much thinner. And that way when I do it, it's going to spread out. I'm going to do this here. I may cut into it a little bit more if I need to. And I'm going to have this more of a little shape of a bow, if you can see that. And once I put the paper around, it's going to be more like this. So it's very simple, doesn't take a lot of skill, and it's very quick, so it's fun to do with children and let them make something, and they can make their own little scenes to have a little decoration for their bedrooms. And I like it because if I have some spot in the house that I just don't have anything for, I can make something very simple and fill it with something with Christmas cheer. So I just, oh, and trees, you know, some people don't like to use Christmas trees. They think it's a pagan symbol, but God created the trees. And I love that in Hosea 14:8, he said, I am like the evergreen tree, bearing my fruit in all seasons, because God, the creator of trees, is also the one who compared himself to a tree, and he wants us to be part of his family tree, and I hope you are. So have a great time and have a happy Thanksgiving next week. I probably won't be on until Friday next week, at which point I think I'm going to make jog biscuits with one of my granddaughters.